Welcome back.
To Marriage Beyond the Veil. Well, today was the first day of 911 is back on.
Your what?
911 is back on.
Okay.
For Angela Bassett. And it was an interesting storyline. It's a three-parter, but what they were really, one of the main parts of their storyline was love and, whether in a relationship, it starts to fade and how do you keep it interesting and
how do you keep the music playing?
Exactly. And that's exactly what they were trying to figure out. So the two key people, they went on a cruise. And the funny thing was, she acted like she was afraid to go on a cruise because of seeing a Poseidon Adventure when she was a kid. But when she really got to the root of with the therapist, it was because she was afraid to spend time alone with her husband because their careers are such that they're always going, and so just 2 weeks.
But you would think one would cherish the opportunity.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Okay, well, are you speaking on behalf of yourself?
Not necessarily.
I see the humor in that.
No, but I do understand that. I mean, because if you are used to going at an alarming rate, if you're used to going constantly, and then your
which
career,
I am, and I enjoy an opportunity to exhale, particularly with you.
Yeah, and I do too.
Okay.
But if your careers are such that everything about your career is always, an emergency,
go. Yeah.
An emergency. So sitting down still with someone for 2 weeks. And this is really the first time you've ever done it because you're now empty nesters and everything's changed. Can be a little frightening sometimes.
Okay.
So I called a friend of mine and I asked him, I said, how is it that you think that we have stayed married for so long, me and her, and our respective marriages? And she simply said, well, we love our husbands. And she said, and they pay the bills.
Okay.
That was a funny part of it. But I'm just curious, what do you think? Do you think that, people have to be worried about that or?
Well, it depends on the relationship. I do realize that there are people that have so many distractions in their lives. If you remove the distractions, then you're left with quiet time. However, I believe that the only time you really don't want to be alone with someone is if you really don't want to be with them.
Or you don't know them. Or you don't feel
the same thing. It's the same thing. If you don't know them, then of course you don't want to be alone because it's like, this is a stranger.
Right.
But it's a stranger I've been sharing my bed with. I've been sharing my home with. And our careers keep us going at such a pace where we don't really have to get to know each other.
Right.
To me, that's tragic.
Yeah, it is tragic. But I also think that it's an opportunity to sit down and say, okay,
getting to know you.
Exactly.
Getting to know all about you. See, there's a song for everything.
It really is.
Hoping to like you.
Especially in your brain. But yeah, I think it's a good time to sort of get to know each other, but I also think it's also a good time to think about, okay, what could you have put in place early before now so that you didn't get to this point?
And why isn't the person that you are, if we're talking marriage, why isn't the person that you're married to, it's not a priority for you to get to know them? See, that's the part that's puzzling to me. You should want to know this person that you've made this commitment all the more. Not just like, okay, let me figure out who you are when work is not keeping us ripping and doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what this does for you, but it doesn't make sense to me. If you love someone, I just think back to, go back to girlfriend, boyfriend time. Like, when you were young, you wanted to be in that person's presence all the time. You wanted to talk to them, even when you didn't have nothing to say. You're on the phone. I mean, I'm sure you can recall opportunities where it's like, you're both falling asleep, but nobody wants to say goodbye. You hang up. No, you hang up. I mean, all that kind of stuff. When you are really, 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 I believe, just genuinely interested, let's not even get to the love part, but there's a genuine interest, then you want to explore. You want to spend time. You want to get to know. So this idea of people, just being ships passing in the night, I get that because a lot of people's vocations and occupations may have them doing that, but that doesn't that doesn't mean that you don't know each other. It's just that you don't have the kind of time you may want to spend with each other. This is going to take more time. So until tomorrow.
If the Lord says the same.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Know who you with. All of me. Why not take all of me?